Yep, you can see it.
All right. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Thananjaya Yogeshwar, and you can call me Thana. I'm from the marketing and student recruitment team, and I'm taking care of the student mobility for exchange and transfer. So I will go through in detail about both the options that we have for students who are planning to transfer over to Swinburne, Australia, or planning on spending a semester in Melbourne campus. All right. So these are the two options that students have. One is the transfer program, and the other one is student exchange program. So today's event, we will go in detail about student exchange. Transfer program is a pretty straightforward process, and it's not so complex compared to student exchange process. So I'll just go through briefly about the transfer and what you need, what this transfer is about. All right. So starting off with transfer. So when you choose to do a transfer, so basically what you're doing is you're going to do a credit transfer over to Swinburne, Australia. So you're withdrawing from Swinburne Sarawak and you will join Swinburne, Australia, and you will be completing your course at Swinburne, Australia. So for example, let's say if you do a year at Sarawak campus and you want to do your final 2 years in Melbourne, you can do that. All right. So the last 2 years you spend in Melbourne and you will graduate in Melbourne. Okay. So the difference when you do a transfer is, number one is your fee, which is your first year you will be paying your Malaysian tuition fee, but then when you transfer over, your fee will convert to the Australian tuition fee. All right. And then the graduate location is in Hawthorne. The requirements are pretty straightforward. The ones that we are listed over here. The first one is you must have completed at least a year at Sarawak campus. The second one would be you must have passed all the enrolled units. And the last one is when you apply, you should not be under at risk or exclusion. So when you do submit your documents, we will do all this checking to see whether you're at risk or exclusion. In case if you're wondering what is at risk or exclusion, is basically if you fail 2 units in your previous semester, then you'll be under at risk. Or if you fail the same unit more than twice, then you'll be under at risk as well. All right. I hope it's pretty clear for that. The next one will be looking at student exchange. So currently we have 2 locations where you go on exchange. One is the Melbourne campus, and the other one is in German, TU Dortmund. Most students, they prefer to choose the Melbourne campus because the credit exemptions, the credit transfer, everything is pretty much straightforward because both campuses offer the same program. So whatever the units that you complete in Melbourne, you get exempted when you come back to Sarawak campus. Right. So for exchange, you are allowed to do only 1 semester in Melbourne, and then you have to return back to Sarawak campus. Right. So the requirements for exchange, since it's a program that you're going to spend 1 semester and it's a very competitive program, every semester we get around 50 to 60 applications. So we have to go through the applications and see who is really able to go, because we cannot send all students to Melbourne. There is a limit to it that we can send. All right. So there are some requirements that students must meet before they can be chosen to be an exchange student. Right. The few requirements mentioned here is you must be in undergraduate programs. It means you can do exchange only during your degree program. You cannot do exchange during foundation or master's program. And the second one is you must have completed 8 units. That means it's 1 year. It's equal to 1 year. And your CGPA should be 2.7 and above. And the last one is you should be an active student in the campus. How to be an active student is basically you can participate in extracurricular activities organized by clubs or student SLVP program, things like that. So if you participate in these events, you can count them as an extracurricular activity towards your profile. All right. Now, if you look at the second one, you must have completed 8 units. This is where you will decide when you wish to go on exchange. For example, let's say if you're doing a 3 years degree program, the earliest you can go on exchange is your second year first semester. All right, so how does that work is when you complete your first semester, with your first semester results, you can apply for the exchange. The process of exchange takes about 2 to 3 months. Later, I will share by when you need to submit your documents. There is a cutoff date for that. So when you submit your application, you will submit with your first semester results. And during your second semester, while you're doing your second semester, the whole exchange process goes on. And on your third semester, which is your second year first semester, then you'll be able to go on exchange if you're selected, right? If you're doing a 4 years program, the earliest you can go is your second year, and you can go on your third year as well for exchange, right? There are some limitations on when you are not allowed to go on exchange, which I will share a bit later. So what you need to prepare for the exchange application, some of these documents are available in the website where you have to download it. For example, the proposed study planner, academic reference form, and your personal statement and extracurricular activity form. So these 3 documents are available in the website. You'll be able to download it. If you're not sure where to find it, you can just drop me an email. The email address given here is my email. You can just drop me an email and I can share you the link where you can download it. The first document, proposed study planner, is basically a form that you will be filling up saying what units you're going to do in Melbourne. So for this, you need to talk to your course coordinator first and make a plan with your course coordinator what subjects that you can do from your proposed study plan, because every student studying here has a study plan that they are following. Which semester, which units you're going to do, and which are the prerequisite unit. So you need to discuss with your course coordinator to get an idea of what units that you can do when you go to Melbourne, which can be exempted when you come back. So you have to talk to your course coordinator about it, okay? The second one is academic reference forms. Basically, you need to find 2 of your lecturers to give you a referral. So you pass this form to them, they will fill it up and pass it to you. Third form is where you will list down your extracurricular activities that you have done with the clubs or with SLVP, and then you need to write a personal statement, a strong statement saying why you should go on exchange, why you choose to go on exchange. The fourth one, your results transcript. So if you have completed 2 semesters, then you need to submit a copy of your results for the 2 semesters. If you've completed 3 semesters, then you have to submit the results for the 3 semesters. Whichever the semesters, how many other semesters you have completed, you need to submit the results for that. Fourth one, so the fifth one will be your passport biodata page. And the last one is registration summary for your current semester. So the last document is basically this one you can do it from your student portal. Once you have enrolled for the units for this semester, you need to take a screenshot of that showing at what units or subjects that you have enrolled. You need to submit a copy of that, right? How to apply? So all these documents, the above documents, once you prepare, you need to email to myself. This is my email in PDF format. All right, and just to make sure that your email is for the exchange application, just put the email subject as exchange application, your student name and student ID, so it's easier for me to track your application. So the next one is the important dates to remember. The semester commencement in Melbourne is February, March, it's end of February or early first week of March, and the second half will be July, August. Each year it depends, it differs the dates. So always just check with me before you submit your application, all right? And below are the cutoff dates for the application. So let's say if you're planning on applying for the second half of the year, exchange semester, then you need to apply before 15th of April. If you're applying for the following year, for the February or March semester, then you need to submit your documents before 15th of September. And these are some of the important things that you need to remember. Number one would be engineering students. If you are from engineering, if you're an engineering student, you will not be able to do exchange during your final year because you do have a project 1, project 2 in your final year. So those 2 projects you need to do it while you're in Sarawak. So you are not allowed to do it during your final year exchange. And all other majors, business, computing, design, whichever major you're doing, you're not allowed to do your exchange in your final semester. So you can still do your exchange during your final year, your 3rd year, but only in the 1st semester. But then also you still have to talk to your course coordinator to see how you can plan out your course structure for the 3rd year, right? And then the last one would be you must be an actively participating student in student activities. All right. When you go on exchange to Melbourne, they will host some activities there, and they will seek for your assistance to represent the Sarawak campus. So you need to participate in those activities and contribute to that. All right. So that is the whole idea about exchange. Exchange is about you go to Melbourne campus, you exchange your ideas, you exchange your culture with the students there, and then you learn something from them. And then when you come back to Sarawak campus, you teach that to the students who are not able to go on exchange or transfer. Right. So that is the whole idea about exchange. Right, so that's about it from my end. Do you guys have any questions? I will stop sharing my screen so I can see if there's any questions in the chat. Is the exchange done physically? The classes, I mean, yes, Millennium Wong, right? Yes, okay. For the past 2 years, the exchange has been postponed due to the COVID and travel restrictions. But we are hopefully the August we'll be starting to send students to Melbourne campus. I think later on, Mr. Stewart will confirm on that whether students can physically go there or not, but it's looking really hopeful.
Yeah, I can chip in there if you want, Dana.
Yes, so, sure. Yes.
Yeah, with students coming to Melbourne, so at this stage, so we are running classes physically. Some things may be done online, so some lectures, but most tutorials, practicals will all be done in person. And so that's basically from this semester onwards. So the answer is yes.
That's correct. Thanks, Stuart. All right, there's another question from Chen. I would like to ask if students are not active in extracurricular, is it possible for them to exchange? All right, Chen, I would suggest you to submit your application. We will do an assessment. It's based on how many students are applying, and then based on that, we can do an assessment and let you know. But if you ask me, I would strongly suggest you to do some activities, so it will help you with your application. It's not too late still. You can still join some clubs and do activities. Right, any other questions? If you guys can unmute yourself and you guys can ask questions over here as well. You don't really have to type if you are not. All right, I think we're not having any more questions. So I think, Douglas, you can move on with the next item in the itinerary here.
Just a question from me.
Yes, Douglas.
When should we start applying for this exchange program?
Okay, you can apply before the cutoff dates. So any date before that, you can start applying. So even you can start applying now for the August semester.
Oh.
Yeah,
all
so
right, all
basically you just have to remember the cutoff date. So let's say if you're applying for August semester, then cutoff date is 15th of April. So you need to submit all the documents before 15th of April. Because we need to give some time to Melbourne campus as well to process your offer. They have to do their own assessment as well. So we have to give them some time on that.
Okay, okay. Right. Thank you, Mr. Tana.
You're welcome.
So, oh, there's another question
Yeah.
from Chan.
If students finish their degree in Sarawak, can they graduate in Melbourne campus? Okay, Chan, that one you need to check with the graduation unit. There is an option for that, but I think it's better you check with the graduation unit on how to go about it, because that doesn't cover, or that doesn't not come under the student mobility program. That comes under the graduation unit.
Okay, is that okay, Chan? All right.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Tana, for that sharing session. Yeah, so now we'll move on to Mr. Stewart's virtual tour, and he will be guiding us and let us showcase some of the facilities at Melbourne. And yeah, I'll pass the time to you now, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you very much, Douglas. And thank you, Jake, for this opportunity. Yeah, my name's Stuart Collins. So I'm the Associate Director, Global Mobility. So my role at Swinburne, Melbourne is around sending our students on overseas experiences, but we also host students as well. And into the future, we're really looking forward to hosting more students from Swinburne, Sarawak. It's really great to have you on campus here and to experience Swinburne, Melbourne, and everything Melbourne and Australia has to offer as well. So we've really missed having international students the last couple of years, and so we're really excited to have you back when you can. So what I'm going to do is give you a bit of an introduction about Swinburne, Melbourne, and then I've got a number of videos we'll show. So that will kind of be the virtual tour. Obviously it's not the same as being here, but it'll give you a bit of impression of what it's actually going to be like. So what I'll do now is I'll just share my presentation. So just one moment. Okay. Does everyone can see that okay? So once again, a welcome to Swinburne, Melbourne, virtually. One thing we do here at Swinburne in Melbourne, and is something we do in Australia, is acknowledge our First Nations people who have been in Australia for many thousands of years, and it's an acknowledgement of their place in that. So I'll do an acknowledgement of country. When you do come to Australia at a lot of official events, you'll hear this acknowledgement of country. And if you're an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Australian, you may actually do a welcome to country. But I'll run through this acknowledgement of country. So we respectfully acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who are the traditional owners of the land on which Swinburne's Australian campuses are located in Melbourne's east and outer east, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We're honoured to recognise our connection to Wurundjeri country, history, culture, spirituality through these locations, and strive to ensure that we operate in a manner that respects and honours the elders and ancestors of these lands. We also respectfully acknowledge Swinburne's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff, students, alumni, partners and visitors. We also acknowledge and respect the traditional owners of the lands across Australia, their elders, ancestors, cultures and heritage, and recognise the continuing sovereignties of all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander nations. And when you come to Australia, I'd really encourage you to take some interest and learn a little bit about Australia's first people, Australia's Indigenous Australians. So we have a number of units at Swinburne, Melbourne that you can take up, but there's a lot of different activities as well that you can take up as well. Okay, so Swinburne, Melbourne. So obviously we're one of Swinburne's many campuses. We actually have 3 campuses in Melbourne, but there's one central campus, which is Hawthorn, and that's where you'll all be studying. when you come to Australia. We also have our Wantirna and Croydon campus, which is the outer suburbs of Melbourne. We have a campus in Sydney, a small campus there. Obviously, we have the campus that you're studying at now in Sarawak, in Kuching, and we also have in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. But a little bit about Hawthorn, the campus you would study at Swinburne. So it's basically very close to the centre of Melbourne. Melbourne is about 5 million people, and it's quite spread out. So from the centre of Melbourne to the outer suburbs can go as far as sort of 35 kilometres, or it could be an hour by train. Our campus is 10 minutes by train from the centre of the city, which is the central business district. So we have a train station in the middle of the campus, so you can easily get to the centre of the city, or you can get to other parts of Melbourne as well. And the campus is actually, surrounded by parkland as well. So it's an inner city campus, but with parkland. You can see some pictures in the middle there of just some of the parks there. It's also in an area that has a lot of facilities, a lot of things to do in itself. So just in Hawthorn, where you'd be studying, so there's lots of cafes and supermarkets. All the banks are there. There's restaurants and bars and pubs and things like that. There's lots of sporting grounds. So there's basically everything you need is actually close to the campus. But you also have the option of actually getting on the train and going into the city, or what we call the city, or to other parts of Melbourne as well. But we're very lucky because it's in a really convenient location in Melbourne, but it also has a lot to do even really close to the campus, including on-campus accommodation. So we have that there. Right. Okay, so I'm going to start this first tour. So hopefully this works okay. And Belinda?
Sorry, I don't think we can hear the audio.
Sorry, I'll just stop that for a second. Is the audio not working?
No, we can't hear the sound.
Oh, okay. Okay, a bit of a technical problem
Mrs.
here.
Stewart, maybe you can try to reshare your screen, and there should be an option to, you should check the computer audio when you share the screen.
Yeah, great. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. Maybe
it's
you
good.
can
I'm here with a whole lot of engineering students, so you guys should be able to help. All right. Okay. Let's try that again. So. Oh, sorry, guys.
I still can't hear the audio.
Sorry, still you still can't hear?
Yeah. Do you check the that when you share it, you can include the computer sound.
Let me try. Stuart, you're using a headset, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I think your computer is picking up your mic from your headset, not from the PC. So maybe you want to try removing your headset.
Yeah, sure.
That one?
Okay.
Still, we cannot hear the volume.
Did that work?
No, it did not. Maybe try again. Try refreshing the page.
We've got ads now.
Yeah, but I can't hear the ad volume as well.
You can't hear it?
Yeah, Mrs. Stewart, maybe I can share it for you because I already found the video.
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you want me to? I'm sorry, really sorry, students. This is.
That's all right.
What I'll do is I'll email you through a copy of the presentation. Okay.
No, sure. I think Jack can find it through YouTube because that video is available in the YouTube, right?
Yeah. I already found it.
Yeah, I think Jack can share from there.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, let me know if there's any
Hi
sound.
everyone, welcome to Swinburne.
Yeah, we can hear the song.
My name is Mascot and I study film and television. This is my first year and I will be taking you along on a tour, so I hope you enjoy. Wakefield Gardens, one of my favorite spots on campus. It is the perfect place to gather a group of friends and enjoy the sun on the green grass. The GS is an iconic building with its black and red design. Here you can join clubs, get legal and tax advice, access health and well-being services, seek career advice, and much more. On level 1, you'll find lockers and a kitchen, and on level 2, there is a student lounge. Okay, so the late lab is open 24/7. This will literally be your second home during exam period. There are like vending machines, so you can get some late night snacks with friends. Above the late lab is the atrium. It's a popular meeting point, like the clocks at Flinders Street Station, but Swinburne's version of that. Next is the Student HQ, where you can get help with anything you need. So just approach someone with a vest and they'll help you out. There are many comfortable and cozy study spaces here to smash out those group projects. The library has 5 levels. There is an Adobe Hub where you can get one-on-one coaching, a bunch of computer labs, silent study areas, and if you're trying to look for a specific book, you can actually scan a QR code and look it up. AMDC is where all the movies for my course, film and television, are screened.
I just walked into a class that wasn't actually mine.
This is the Advanced Technology Center.
We got a massive studying area here. Engineering! I'm an engineering student. No, I'm not.
My post-production and editing class is all the way up on the 5th floor, so I love taking in the magnificent view on my way up. Just footsteps away from campus is Glenferrie Road, a major shopping district. We are so lucky to have a variety of restaurants from different cuisines, supermarkets, and Lido Cinema to enjoy a movie with your friends after a long day at uni. And of course, my favorite cookie store I'm literally craving one right now. Conveniently, the train station is attached to the university. It is only a 10-minute ride from the CBD and links to Melbourne Metropolitan. To me, Swinburne is more than just a university. It's a place to learn, grow, build strong friendships, make memories, and step into your future. And if you can't get enough of it, I made a full vlog on my YouTube channel, Mascot Maddie, which you can go check out once you've completed your Swintopia tour. I can't wait to see you all on campus.
Great, thanks for that. Jake. At least you've seen a little bit of an introduction to what it's like studying at Swinburne, Melbourne. The next I wanted to show was another one on YouTube. I think living on campus at Swinburne. Might just ask if you can get that off YouTube for us, please.
Wait, come again?
Oh, it's living on campus at Swinburne. I'll see if I can find it and put it into the link.
Right. Just send me the link.
Hey Jake, I've just emailed those through.
All right. Okay. You just sent an email, is it? Did not receive it.
Yes, just in your emails.
Belinda, do you mind just put it there on the chat box over here?
There we go.
Oh, yeah,
I've
yeah.
just put it there now.
Yeah, Stuart, just put it there.
Yeah.
Jack, you can just use the one from the chat box.
All right.
Isn't this is great collaboration between Swinburne, Melbourne, and Sarawak here?
Yeah. Thanks to Jake.
Yeah, no worries. One moment.
My favorite part about living on campus would be the community feel that comes with it. There's always events going on, always something new happening.
So you could be going somewhere that's quite close by and meet 4 mates on the way, which is like an amazing feeling.
First transitioning after leaving the house for the first time was a bit intimidating because you have to basically discover what it's like to be independent and live by yourself.
What I thought was it's going to be weird because I don't know what their culture is. I don't go out that much, I don't party that much, so I won't get along with a lot of people. But it completely turned out the other way around.
I think what surprised me most about coming to campus was how easy it was to fit in and how simple it was to get that family feel.
Swinburne offers different types of accommodations, like you can have 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom, a studio apartment as well.
Oh, I like my room. I've really personalized it through like the posters, glow-in-the-dark stars and photos.
Within all of the main buildings, it's locked and the only way you can get in is with your own personal key card. And then there's the security head office, probably 100 meters from where you live.
Everything's quite convenient, like it's a bit of a microcosm.
It's just a 200-meter walk straight to the train, and then it's a 10-15 minute train ride to the city.
My favorite thing about living on campus is there are people called resident advisors. They're basically like a bridge between the administration and you. So they're always there to help you out no matter what. They can help you out with your studies. They can help you out with your personal life. They can just sit there and talk to you if you want to.
If you have an 8:30 class, you can literally push it to sleeping in until 8:05, 8:10. Just roll out of bed and straight to class. It's so simple. It wasn't as intimidating as I thought. It was a very smooth transition.
The social scene has enabled me to meet like some of my closest friends.
It's definitely fun. Highly recommend.
Great. And we've just got our final video now. Just a bit more on actual Hawthorn campus, which is our main campus. Great. Okay, so now you would have all had a little bit of a virtual tour of what it's like. So on campus and what you can do around campus. Also to do with on-campus accommodation and what it's like to live there. A lot of students don't live on campus; they actually live nearby or other parts of Melbourne, and like I said, we've got public transport and a train station that's the middle of the campus, so it's quite easy to get around. So I'll just continue with so a couple of other slides I've got just to introduce you to Swinburne, studying at Swinburne, Melbourne. So the next thing I think is really important for you guys is that at Swinburne, Melbourne, so as students there, including as undergraduate students, you'll actually have access to a lot of world-class research facilities and specialist facilities. So that's one thing when you come onto Melbourne campus, you'll notice that it's not all just classrooms. In fact, there's a lot of laboratories there. And as a student there, a great thing about it, Swinburne, Melbourne, is you'll get access to that equipment. So, for example, with our, state-of-the-art chemistry lab, our electrical vehicle laboratory that you'll get access to, Swinburne actually has a car racing team, and so students in our mechanical engineering and areas like that work on that. We have our factory of the future, where you'll see things like 3D printers and different tools there that'll be used in kind of the new way of manufacturing in the future. A neuroimaging facility, also our smart structures laboratory, which tests things like bridges and the strength of equipment. Our aviation simulation laboratory as well. So that's one great thing is you'll get access to world-class research and specialist facilities when you're studying. So it's not all theory or classroom based, very practical based as well, and that's one of the great things it's good to point out to you when you're at Swinburne, Melbourne. Just move on to the next slide. Yeah, so a big thing for us is support services. So, as an international student, someone coming from one country to another, so we've been hosting students from other countries for more than 30 years. So over that time, we've learned really how to best support you while you're studying with us. So we do things like free airport pickup. When you arrive in Melbourne, we'll pick you up from the airport, take you to your accommodation. We have international student advisors. So, if you have some sort of problem or not sure, you would go to them and they would help you and refer you to support for whatever it is or help you directly with those things. We have health service or a medical clinic on campus where there's doctors and nurses, psychologists, and a lot of other support as well there. And that's on campus for you to get access to. You also have support for language and academic skills. So if English isn't your first language, and I know you'd study in English in Sarawak, but if you still need some support there, then we have that as well. We also have support for mathematics and statistics. We have things like study skills workshops. If you do need a little bit more support, we also help you with careers and employability services. So that might be giving you support to find a part-time job while you're in Melbourne, or it might be about making the most to prepare to go on for your future career after you finish. We also have legal advice as well. If you're having some sort of issue with landlord or so on, we give advice around that as well. So we have a whole lot of support services for you when you come and study at Swinburne, Melbourne, that you all have access to. So that's a bit there. So just a bit of an introduction of what life's like. In terms of the curriculum, you'd all be familiar with it because of studying at Swinburne in Sarawak. But just to give you a bit of sense on what it's like to study at Swinburne, Melbourne, also to live there as well. I believe after my part, there's also going to be a student panel where you'll be able to hear directly from the students. But I'm happy to answer any questions I can now, if you like. So I'll hand it over to you, Douglas, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
You're welcome.
Okay. So are there any questions from the students?
And that's okay, guys. I mean, we will next also have a student panel, so it'll be good for you to hear sort of directly from some current students as well. So I think there's a...
I think there is a question from Millennium Wong.
Okay, so estimated living costs. Okay, that's a good question. Belinda, do you have the updated costs at the moment?
We do have one from last year, I believe. Let me have a look at the web link and I'll pop it into the chat.
Yeah, so there is a, I guess, you know, an official estimated cost for living in Melbourne. And Belinda will get that for you. And that's a really good thing to think about budgeting for. And then when you get a part-time job, but it does vary a lot. So, you know, you can get meals. So around campus, sort of between, you know, $8 and $12. I guess you can get a lunch meal, like, you know, so if you wanted sort of a rice dish or something with that, you can get that. Public transport, so can be sort of around $10 to $15 a day. Can be a bit more than that. But it'll be good for you to talk to the students next in terms of, you know, how they, you know, where they go to, you know, sort of get things cheap and things like that. So, but we do have an overall estimate that you'd have to, that you need to sort of budget for. Yep. Knowing also that you know, it's possible that you study part-time as well. Sorry, that you work part-time as well to cover some costs.
I've just got some of the details here. So the accommodation really depends on the type of apartment that you like. So for some students who are more interested in having a very social on-campus life and are happy to share with quite a number of different students, there are 4-bedroom apartments that are you can get a standard room, which is a little bit smaller, or a deluxe room, and the cost of the standard is Australian dollars 268 or 272 for the deluxe. And then the prices increase if you'd like a 3-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment, depending on the number of people you'd prefer to share an apartment with. So all of the costs that I've just said there are per week and also include all bills. I've just popped the link for that information into the chat.
Thanks, Belinda. Yeah, but it would be good to talk to the students next in terms they can probably give you a bit more of an idea as well. So, yeah. Any other questions, guys? Oh, okay. So the question there around, so our students studying at our Vietnam campuses, good question. They can transfer to Melbourne. I'm not sure with Sarawak at the moment, but they definitely can to Hawthorn. They're fairly new campuses, so it was really around 2019, and then of course the pandemic has started. So, but we are hoping more of them, and I think there may be opportunities for them to transfer in the future to Sarawak and Sarawak to Vietnam, and so on. But it's something that we haven't quite got in place yet.
Mr. Stewart? Yes. Is the airport pickup service only provided to students who wish to stay at the hostel?
No. So even if you're staying in private accommodation, which is in the same area as the campus, they'll also take you to that. But not to. So if it's quite far from the campus, then my understanding is they don't. But most students will live near campus or on campus, and that's fine. They will take you to your accommodation there for free.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So are there any more questions? We'll just give the students a few minutes.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, give you a bit of more time. Yeah. So I think what you'll like about Melbourne is that there's also like a lot of, it's great lifestyle city. So there's a lot of festivals over the year. So whether it's sports, there's a lot of different sort of sporting events, whether it's horse racing, football, cricket, the Australian Open tennis, Formula One Grand Prix we have next month. There's a lot of, and there's also other cultural events we have on. So whether it's the comedy festival, So we have like fashion festivals. Melbourne's a big foodie city, food and coffee. So we love our coffee. We're very proud of it. So you can go into lots of cafes, the whole cafe culture, and each cafe will have a different sort of type of coffee, but it's all very good quality. And in terms of food, it's great. And I definitely know I've been to Malaysia and the food is fantastic. And Melbourne has a wide range of food. So because we have people who have migrated or living from all different parts of the world. So you'll find that you'll be able to get, fantastic Italian food or American food or Chinese food or Japanese food and so on, all within Melbourne. So, and around the campus, there's quite a lot there, and a lot sometimes at student prices as well. But if you enjoy food, there's a real foodie culture in Melbourne as well. And when you go out just outside of Melbourne, there's wineries, which are great as well, and that have like a lot of gourmet foods and things like that. And then out of Melbourne's great for outdoors. So, you want to do things like hiking and lots of different sports and all that, then that's all available in Melbourne or just outside of Melbourne. So I just see the question there in the chat. Is it recommended to student exchange at the last year for computing students? I probably can answer that. It'll probably maybe Tana, you can respond to that.
All right. Chu Jing. Okay. Students the last year for computing students. Yes, you can do exchange in your last year, but you cannot do it on your last semester. You need to do it on first semester of your last year. But I would suggest you to have a chat with your course coordinator to see how they can plan out your course structure, because not all subjects might not be offered in Melbourne campus for the upcoming semester. So you need to check with your course coordinator to see whether you can do all 4 subjects in Melbourne, or if you do lesser unit in Melbourne, then your graduation will be postponed. It will be extended. The 3 years degree you're going to be extended for 3 year 1 semester. So it's best you check with your course coordinator on that first.
Belinda's also reminded me as well, and I'll just put it into the chat, that as a Swinburne in Melbourne, you have access to the aquatic centre, which is just across the road. So you have kind of free swimming, and you can also, there's a gymnasium there as well. You can turn up to, you can join as well. So there's just, if you want to link there, you'll have a pool and you've got free access to that pool as well. There's also near the campus as well, we mentioned there's a cinema as well, and you can get student price tickets for there as well. So just around Hawthorn, there's kind of everything that you need, but you can also, like I said, you can travel into the city as well. One thing as well is to consider is that being able to travel to other parts in Australia or even New Zealand. So from Melbourne to Auckland is a couple of hours flight, so any of you, when you have a summer break or winter break, you may want to travel to New Zealand or other states in Australia as well. So from Melbourne to Sydney, it's an hour flight. And up to Brisbane's a 2 hours. So, I mean, as you know on the map, Australia's a very spread out. It's a big country, but there is a lot of flights and a lot of discount flights as well. So, we really encourage you when you come is maybe, obviously we want you to study hard and get a lot out of your education, but we also want you to explore and experience what it's like in Australia as well. Make the most of that. So whether it's like activities in Melbourne, or whether it's, travel outside of Melbourne in the rest of Victoria and Australia as well. There's some things that are quite unique to Melbourne. So with sports, so we play Australian rules football, which is only played in Australia. It's sort of a mix between kind of rugby and soccer, I guess. But it's one of the biggest sports in Australia. And in Melbourne, we have our sports stadium there called the Melbourne Cricket Ground. It holds 100,000 people. And with our football games, sometimes we'll get 90 to 100,000 people attending football matches. So that's a big thing when you come. I really encourage you, even though if it looks like a weird sport, if you like, football from Europe, but it's very unique to Australia, and it's a big thing in Melbourne, and it's really good at least once to go and have a look at a football game. And you're very welcome to come along and see that sort of thing. So another thing as well, obviously at Swinburne, is we have lots of clubs and associations for different interests that you can join, and I would encourage you to join. So there is the Malaysian Association of Students that you can be part of, but also to look at other clubs and associations, maybe based off your interests. So whether that's sports or whether that's movies or animation, because it's a really good way to meet students not from Malaysia, so from other countries and Australian students. So I'd really encourage you to do that, so that you make friends and you network from other people, because that's one of the advantages and benefits of actually going to another country and studying. So I really encourage you to do that. Really make sure you.
It will
it's a
make
good way
our
as well.
university life more interesting. It's not just about studying.
Absolutely, Douglas. Yeah, that's right. So I really encourage you guys to do that, because sometimes maybe might be a bit shy about meeting friends. But if you join a club or association, it's an easier way because you have a lot of joint interests. So I'd really encourage you to be part of the club or association.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just curious though, is the campus very lively at night? Like, are there a lot of festivals or parties?
Yeah, so more surrounding the campus. So you've got the on-campus accommodation, which is still there, but a lot of students go just off campus, which is just meters walk, and a lot of it is, so you've got pubs, so that students go to, or cafes. If you don't drink, then you can go to cafes that are open, and restaurants that are open in the evenings, and they're the most lively places, I think. So we have there's a pub on campus that you can go to, and you don't have to drink or anything. It's completely, you can have a coffee or a soft drink or something. There's a lot of activities there. And then off campus, there's at least 2 pubs and a number of bars there that you can go to. There's also lots of restaurants as well, and cafes as well. They're places that I'd say are probably the most lively that are around campus. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any more questions? If not, we'll move on to a short break until 12:10.
Okay.
And in the meantime, you can still ask questions. I think everyone will still be here. Mainly the speakers will be here to answer your questions. But to those of you who wish to have a short toilet break, or you want to get your coffee or tea, I don't know. Yeah, you can have a short break right now, and just come back at 12:10, and then we'll start off with the panel discussion. Then after that, there's another Q&A session with all of the speakers as well as the students. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah. Okay. So I noticed that Joel and Catherine are here already. So yeah, there will be some of the panelists later in the panel discussion.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for that opportunity to sort of give you an overview about what it's like at Swinburne, Melbourne. So next it'll be kind of good to hear directly from students what their experience is. So, but if you have any questions between now and then, I'm happy to answer them, or happy to answer them at the end of the next session.
Yes. And thank you, Mr. Stewart, for the very interesting sharing. Yeah.
Thanks, Douglas. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Thana, there's another question from Daryl.
Yep, I saw that question. That's the question. The question doesn't really. So Gerald, I would suggest. I wouldn't really say we wouldn't really turn it down, but as I said, exchange applications are quite competitive. So I would suggest you just submit your documents, submit your applications, and then once we do the assessment, we will let you know what's the outcome. But I would say if you have the activities, then you're pretty much settled. You're welcome. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Harrison, how you going?
G'day.
How you going? Yeah, thanks for coming. We probably haven't met. I'm Stuart Collins. I'm from the Swinburne Abroad team as well.
Cool.
So thanks for volunteering to come along. So Sarawak they have a moderator. His name's Douglas. So he'll come back on soon, and yeah, we'll start the panel session off. So yeah, we've also got, because Harrison, you're a engineering student.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. We had another who dropped out, but we've got another student who's actually a media and comms. Her name's Catherine, or name's Kit, and she'll be able to sort of talk about what it's like to live in Melbourne and study in Melbourne and so on. So she'll be joining you as well.
Cool.
Hi, how's it going? I'm here too.
We'll start shortly at 12:10. So just a 5-minute break.
Douglas, where's the music?
Yep. Okay, wait.
We can't need to be happy if we can't do this different. We were choosing all the same, 'cause we have all that. We can't need to be
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Why you always in the mood? Fuck around, acting brand new. I ain't tryna tell you what to do, but try to play it cool. Maybe I am playing by your rules. Everything look better with a view. Why you always in the mood? Fuck around, acting brand new. I ain't tryna tell you what to do, but try to play it cool. Maybe I am playing by your rules. Everything look better with a view. I can never get attached when I start to feel unattached. Someone you always end up feeling bad. Baby, I'm not your dad. It's not all you want from me. I just want your company. Girl, it's obvious, elephant in the room, and we're a part of it. Oh, they're so confused, and you love starting it. Now I'm in the mood. Now we arguing in my bedroom. We play games of love to avoid the depression. We've been here before, and I won't be a thing. Why you always in the mood? Fuck around, acting brand new. I ain't tryna tell you what to do, but try to play it cool. playing by your rules. Everything look better with a view. Why you always in the mood? Fuck around, acting brand new. I ain't tryna tell you what to do, but try to play it cool. Baby, I ain't playing by your rules. Everything look better with a view. When you're trying to make your love on the regular, when you could be blowing up just like my cellular. I don't ever let a shorty go and set me up. Only thing I need to know is if you wet enough. I'm talking slick back, kick back, gang, sipping 40s. You can play another day with your shorty. Miss my stress, that was way before you know me. Gotta let her love when you bless it for me. Play games of love to avoid the depression. We've been here before and I won't be a victim. Why you always in the mood? Fuck around, acting brand new. I ain't tryna tell you what to do, but try to play it cool. Baby, I ain't playing by your rules. Everything look better with a view. Why you always in the mood? Fuck around, acting brand new. I ain't tryna tell you what to do, but try to play it cool. Baby, I ain't playing by your rules. Everything look better with a view. Yeah.
We hug and yes, we make love and always just say goodnight. And we got sure about to love me, but I need your lips on mine. Can you kiss me more? Feel so young, boy, we ain't got nothing to lose. Oh, oh, it's just principle. Baby, hold me, 'cause I like the way you groove. Oh, oh, boy, right tonight, I can do the same. All of the peace, la 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 la. All on my tongue, I want it. Boy, right tonight, I can do the same. All of the peace, la 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 la. All on my tongue, I want it. I feel like fucking something, but we could be calm and fuck it. Sugar, I am no dummy. I like to say what if, but if we could kiss and just cut the rubbish, then I might be on to something. I ain't giving you one in public, I'm giving you hundreds fucking. Something we just gotta get into. First need a lesson, wisdom too. Vision that the bossy was a kissing booth. Taste breakfast, lunch, and gin and juice. That dinner just like dessert too. And then refresh, give me two. When I bite the lip, come get me two. You want lipstick, lip gloss, can you kiss me more? We're so young, boy, we ain't got nothing to lose. Oh, oh, it's just principle. Baby, hold me, 'cause I like the way you groove. Oh, oh, boy, right tonight, I can do the same. All of the bass, la 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 la. All on my tongue, I want it. Boy, right tonight, I can do the same. All of the bass, la 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 la. All on my tongue, I want it. Kiss me more, feel so young, boy, we ain't got nothing to lose. Oh, oh, it's just principle. Baby, hold me, 'cause I like the way you groove. Oh, oh, boy, right tonight, I can do the same. All of the taste, la 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 la. All on my tongue, I want it. Boy, right tonight, I can do the same. All of the taste, la 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 la. All on my tongue, I want it.
Okay, so just checking, is all the students who will be speaking here already? Well,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Okay. Good. So maybe we can start with the panel discussion right now. So good, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we'll start off with some self-introduction about you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
Who wants to go first?
I'm happy to go first.
All right.
Sure. So, my name is Harrison York. I'm studying robotics and mechatronics engineering at Swinburne. I actually went on exchange to Malaysia start of 2020. It did get cut short by COVID and everything, but a great time. Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Catherine, but everyone calls me Kit. So I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Media and Communications, and I currently live in Melbourne. But I'm originally from the coast, down in Ocean Grove. I haven't done exchange yet, but I have traveled before and do have an understanding of some different cultures. And yes, so no, I'm happy to be here today.
Hi, my name is Joel, and I already graduated actually the last year. But I was studying civil engineering, and I did my exchange 2 years ago, I think, during COVID time as well. So, yeah, felt a bit. It was a bit bad at that time, but I still had fun there.
Yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Jake. Currently in my final year in robotics as well. I exchanged to Melbourne in 2019 semester 2, right before COVID. Yeah, when I came back then, COVID started. Harrison, you look a bit familiar for some reason. You're from robotics, right? I think I've seen you in the labs or in the lectures.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the very interesting self-introduction. And since all of you have been to Melbourne or you are at Melbourne, can you just share with us what was your typical day at Melbourne like when you were studying over there? Maybe Harrison can go first. We just follow the same sequence.
Sure.
Yeah.
So my typical day in Melbourne, probably it depended. So like holidays, and when I didn't have uni on, I'd probably like catching up with friends. I too grew up in the country, so I'm keen on being outside and going for a walk in the park or something like that. Going for a beach trip. During uni, like going to class, maybe going out for lunch with some friends.
Yeah, mine would be similar. It would probably be because we have such great cafes around Melbourne. So probably be like a brunch, and we've got really great coffee. You'll find us Australians are very picky about our coffee because it's just so good. But yeah, I would say also the nightlife is just so amazing in Melbourne. That's what me and my friends do, just hit up the bars and some nice dinner places. But yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay.
For me, I guess it would depend whether I have uni or not as well. For like my typical uni days, since I live very near campus, I would like wake up, maybe go to a nearby cafe, chill a bit before I go to class, hang out on campus, like try and look for new places to eat. I think that's like one of the things Malaysians do. We like our food, like explore for more food options. And then during my like days off, me and my friends would actually like to plan trips, like see like what kind of like interesting places we could go to, anything nearby, like how to get there, stuff like that. That was pretty much my typical days there.
Yeah, for myself, Joel said that he stay very near to campus. I live on campus, so even nearer. Yeah, that time. So for during like weekdays, it would be mostly waking up kind of late because and just have breakfast on campus because they actually provide continental breakfast every day. Yeah, so I had breakfast there and then just walk to lecture, which is really near. Then after that, depends on whether it's earlier in the semester or maybe closer to finals. Me and my friends would either cook or we eat out for lunch and as well as dinner. Yeah, most of the time is spent in on the classes as well as in my own room studying. But aside from that, I also like talk with my floor mates. Talk to them, do some household events with them. Yeah, for weekends, I usually I'll go to the city walk around, because since the transportation is so easy and all, just take the train all the way to CBD, to Flinders, get some food.
Trams as well.
Yeah, trams as well. This is not something that we can have here in Sarawak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the daily stack count is usually goes about 10K every day, because just still walking way too much, man.
That's actually true. Yeah, I walked a lot when I was there.
Yeah, 10K, 20K, easy target.
Nice. Did anyone of you work part-time over there?
Unfortunately, I did not, because yeah, I mean, I did apply for jobs, but then everything was like shutting down already at that point because of COVID. So, but I did hear
Right.
from my friends, and they did like tell me about their experiences and like how they work part time. Most of them work in the food industry, like either as waiters, waitresses, or like maybe like a barista, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I did a bit of hospitality work, and I highly recommend doing part-time work, just to meet different people, just because you do need that balance of like study and work and that type of thing. So yeah, I definitely really like it, and everyone's always so friendly and approachable, and it breaks up studying, which is really nice.
Okay. And in terms of study, those of you who transferred to Melbourne or exchange over there, do you find there's difference between the classes here and the classes over there? Was there a very big difference in terms of the studies?
I would say the main difference, to me at least, it's just the lecturers. Like the style is slightly different. I feel like the lecturers, I mean, this is my opinion, but I do think that the lecturers in Melbourne are a bit more open. They'll talk to you more, and they will like explain things a bit better. They are more proactive, I would say, compared to the lecturers here. Some of the lecturers here like to just stick to the books, and like, yeah, that's pretty much it. The lecturers there are more friendlier and like open up more to you. So I prefer that.
Yeah. So for me, I think because it was pre-COVID time, so the huge difference that I found is like the lectures and tutors were actually recorded. Yeah, I legit didn't know until like week 10 or something, until my friends told me that the lectures were recorded, and I went.
Oh yeah, that's another thing as well. Yeah,
I went to Canvas and I just saw,
lectures.
They were recorded lectures. I didn't know. My God.
Yeah, some of my videos from last semester were also recorded in Melbourne. So yeah, they do have that kind of videos, which is good lah for the students. You can always refer to it, right?
Yeah, and also incentivize just skipping lectures, which I totally didn't do. Totally.
How about because I'm assuming that when you go there to study, it's your first time going over there. Yeah, so was there any culture shock that you experienced while you were staying over there? Difference in culture?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely different, but it wasn't really like, it didn't really like affect me in that way. I didn't really get like a culture shock or anything. I just felt like everything was just, I was just surprised, like, oh, like it just felt it felt better in my opinion. I mean, maybe just because like I've been living in Malaysia my whole life, haven't really seen much out of there. So I just found it really interesting overall.
Same,
like how everyone.
Relatable, truly relatable. For myself, I think like when I first came there, because I was staying on campus, right? So the most fascinating thing is, they really do drink, like all the time. Not coffee, I mean like alcohol. They really do drink. When cooking, they drink. When watching television, they drink. Yeah, all the time.
Okay. And just to further go further on the question on part-time jobs, what are your views about taking up a job in Melbourne while you're studying? Because I'm sure that some of us who are planning to exchange over there, we have the intention to actually take up some jobs, just to cover our living expenses in some way. Yeah. So, what are your views about that?
I definitely recommend it. I think you should definitely do it if you have the chance to, because it actually pays for a lot, and you can do a lot more with the money you get there. Like I have friends that work there as well, and they legit just don't need a single cent from any. They don't have to get a single cent from their parents. They can just fully sustain themselves just from their part-time job, because you get cheap enough accommodation, and if you know how to manage your money properly, like it can pay for everything pretty much for your whole time day. So for sure, go for it if you have the chance.
Yep. Anything from you, Jack? Like your views?
My view, because I didn't take part-time job. But yeah, I agree with what Joel said. You should take a part-time job, especially to cover your living expenses. I actually have friends like, I don't know how they do it, but they're part-time until a point that they could afford like new stuff like iPad, new shoes, all those while there.
Wow.
Yeah, while being there. It's like, are you sure you were there exchanging? You are not supposed to do that. Why are you richer there than here? Because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think the skill is also good to develop, like, because if you, especially like you're working in the hospitality kind of jobs, then you can learn how to talk to people, learn how it works, service. Yeah. So it's a good skill to get anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And you get good life skills, as you were saying, and it's just a fun way to meet people as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
And getting some money as well, which doesn't hurt. You know,
Yes.
enjoy some extra things in Melbourne. So
yeah, I just be careful as well though. Like, don't work all the time and study all the time. Like, actually enjoy the experience.
Enjoy yourself, yeah.
Experience. You don't want to just work really hard at your work and then work really hard at your study and then not do anything else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, speaking of that, speaking of the like balance part, right? I also found that the locals actually quite, how to say, they split between their study and the relaxed time pretty well. Like my when I was in hostel, when it's close to finals, there's legit like everyone is studying, but if it's on like Tuesday night, everyone goes out to drink. Take the relaxation and study very seriously.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I was just going to say, spend the money, like have a balance, obviously, but to put a little bit aside and enjoy a night out, and it's good don't have to think about it as much if you're working. So yeah, that's what I meant. Why not?
Okay, and another topic, it's on the transferring program. So some of us, we are planning to transfer, but we do not have any friends with us. So we are going there alone. So is there any advice from you all? Maybe on the accommodation side, like, will it be very lonely, and it's hard to get into the social circles over there. It's very hard for you to meet friends over there. Will it be very difficult at first, or like what is your advice on that, like for people who are planning to transfer there alone?
Can't really say much on this because I actually went as a pretty big group, but as a group we met a lot of new people there, and we did make a lot of friends though, and I don't think it's that difficult to engage with other people over there. You just have to take the initiatives. Like you can't really, if you exclude yourself and everything, you just sit in the corner, like no one's gonna just like, it's gonna be hard on both ends, right? Like people will feel a bit awkward to approach you, and you're not approaching anybody, so you gotta be a bit more open and like mix around. And what I find helpful is that Swinburne actually organizes a lot of when I was there, we had like some like parties, like barbecues and like this kind of events, and that's a perfect chance to like meet and talk to people. So yeah, I won't worry too much about it, but yeah, just you do need to take a bit of initiative, like talk a bit.
And getting involved in clubs, I
was just about to say that. Yeah, clubs, definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of different clubs over there, right? I heard there's a cheerleading club.
Yeah,
there is.
Sport games.
Cheerleading.
Yeah.
What I've seen, tabletop club, man. Tabletop game club, man. Tabletop game, legit. I say. Yeah. From myself, I would recommend that. Yeah, I think even if you go solo, right, I would recommend you to go on campus accommodation, because they actually have like resident advisors or otherwise known as RA, and you have your floor mates or hostel mates, so to say. So you can meet with them. They are mostly quite engaging. Yeah, they're very friendly people. Yeah, so I think going on hostel is an option, but except that the price is also slightly more expensive, as in slightly as in maybe how much was your accommodation, Joel? Just wondering.
Mine was cheap because I was splitting it with a bunch of friends. Like what we did was we like rented a house and then we just split it. So I think I wasn't paying much, honestly. I think around 500 to 700 per month. AOD.
As in Australian dollars, 500 to 700 per month.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
About
So for on campus, it might be for my room because I was staying in a solo room. So mine would be 325 per week. So yeah, so per month it's like ×4. So yeah, but it's worth. I would say it's worth the price because there are hostel activities and they do provide breakfast and you don't have to worry about bills.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, not good. My house was kind of scuffed, so like it was cheap for a reason, you know.
Yeah, and you don't have to clean yourself. Yeah, that's another plus point.
But this also excludes like the water bill and stuff, so it's probably slightly a bit higher, water, electricity.
Where do you live then, Joel? Just wondering. Is it very...
I live near campus. I don't remember the name of the place, but it was near the 7-Eleven at the Melbourne campus there, somewhere there. So it was within walking distance, around 5 minutes walk.
Okay. Yeah,
but
that's good also.
7-Eleven.
It's near the 7-Eleven. Like every morning when on the way to Swinburne, I would just grab a $1 coffee from 7-Eleven. Convenient.
Okay, now moving on. May I know what is the one must-do thing at Melbourne? Like what's the thing that like you would suggest to us who are planning to transfer over there to do, especially for first-time travelers to Melbourne?
I think.
Yeah, go ahead, Jake. Oh.
No, Harry. It was Harry.
Oh, Harry, yeah.
I think one of the best ones you can do, like probably not what you'd expect, but like going outside of Melbourne, like going to like going somewhere and seeing Australia and the different nature that it is, like going to a beach from a far away, or one of the good places if you want to write it down, Wilson's Promontory in Australia. It's in Victoria. It's probably about 3 hours from Melbourne or something. But like, go there.
I agree with that. Yeah, the hiking and stuff. Yeah, hiking's huge as well. We have so many beautiful national parks, and yeah, it's so easy as well, public transport. You're able to go out into the country and do some good road trips and stuff like that. In the city, I would say going to an AFL game. I feel like that's a big Australian culture. You have to be picky with your teams because we're very passionate with who we support. So choose wisely. But yeah, I definitely recommend that.
Cats. You want to choose the Long Cats.
Yes. Okay. Good. We're on the same page. Harry and I are on the same page. You have to go for Geelong Cats. Go to Geelong Cats game for sure. That's really fun.
Speaking of AFL game, right? I think I forgot whether it was a hostel activity or it was like the uni activity. There were actually like free tickets to a game at the stadium. So I actually went there I went and see like live to see how they play footsie. Speaking of one thing that you should do, you should definitely drink. Yeah. You should learn to drink. Yeah, join one of their nights, man. Yeah, that's one thing I regret not doing and not being good at drinking.
All right. And to those of us who are planning to exchange, which term do you prefer us to exchange? Like during the summer term or during the winter term? Is there like a preference for you guys? For you guys plan for the exchange program?
For me personally, I prefer winter time just because I like cold weather.
True.
But you went during summer, right?
I mean, in Kuching it's so hot every time. No, I went
You
winter
went-
sem.
Oh, wait, you went Sem 1. That's approaching summer, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That's sem. I went sem 2, right? Winter sem in between there. So I started at around March, February to March around there. Yeah, I ended in like August, something like that. But yeah,
Oh.
I mean, the cold weather is really nice, honestly. Like, especially like walking around and stuff like that in the weather. I even played golf there in the cold weather. I was like, wow, it was really nice. Compared to here, it's like always sunny, you're always sweating everywhere. That's just me, I guess. Some people might prefer like, you know, it's like hot, sunny, you can go to the beaches, chill over there. I mean, even though it was winter, I did go to the beach and we did like swim in the really, really cold water too. Not really like winter, but like in autumn time around there.
How about you, Jake?
Yeah.
When do you transfer?
Yeah, I went so as during winter term. Yeah, so yeah, I think I do prefer winter more than summer due to similar reasons. Like the weather is really suitable for living. Well, not as in compared to like here, like the super hot, super humid.
It's just different. It's different from like it's just different from coaching weather. So I think it's like it's a good experience as well. Like like
totally new
cold.
Experience.
Yeah, because you
But I heard,
definitely
but
reach that kind of like cold levels in coaching.
Yeah, but I heard there will be more activities, more events for city
exactly.
during summer, right? So that one maybe you have to like how you want to balance between the cold weather or the many events. Maybe Harrison and Catherine, maybe you can let us know what kind of events were there during the summer.
What kind of events are during summer?
Yeah.
Australian Open, during those type of events, right?
Yeah.
The tennis is huge in summer. Festivals, like music festivals, are very, very popular. And we do have some nice markets and those type of events in the city. Yeah, Harry, any that come to mind? I'm trying to think.
When's White Night? Is that what it's called?
Oh, Nightjar. Then does that be talking about the Nightjar market? Is like this really beautiful.
No, I was thinking when it's the light show in Melbourne.
Oh, I'm not sure. I've heard about it, but I don't know when it is.
Wait, the light show, I thought it was during winter because when I went there, I think I went to one of the light show. I forgot what's the name of the light show.
And also like around Christmas time as well, like they have lots of cool lights there as well in the city.
Okay. That's very nice. And do you think it will be very risky for students who are planning to exchange in their year 3 semester 2, provided that they will be having their final year in the following semester? Because right now I'm currently in my year 3 semester 1, and if I were to transfer or were to exchange, I'm only going to exchange in my second semester this year. Yeah, and it's very near to my final year. So I'm just wondering, like, will it be very risky? Because my final year will be doing a lot of projects, and I'm just worried maybe I will like miss out on meeting certain supervisors who might be your potential, final year supervisors. Yeah.
From my experience, honestly, it doesn't affect anything, like to me at least. Like, because normally the FYP, if you're worried about the FYP doesn't, I would say typically, it wouldn't start until the actual semester starts. Like, there are some supervisors that like it when you approach them a bit earlier, like in the summer semester, like maybe in like January-ish, you can start approaching them already. But I don't think it's like completely necessary, and if anything, you can also always just like get on an online call, like just discuss with them like that. Like there are other ways that you can communicate with them. Like for me, like I went with Dr. Chu, right? Dr. Chu is considered one of like the most strict ones, and even with him, I had no problems when I exchanged later on as well. I think I also exchanged quite late as well, like around semester 2, year 3. But I had no problems, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay. All right. Anything from you, Jake?
Yeah, I would recommend that you exchange that. Meeting your supervisor doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether you meet him or not, you choose your topic based on your supervisor. Question mark. I thought you choose your topic based on the topic, right? So it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, true. Okay, that's true. Okay. So it's great to hear some sharings. So now I will just open the floor to the students. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask them, especially on your exchange program next semester, I will open it up to all of you. So just list your questions down on this chat box, and they will be glad to answer.
Yeah, if you want to ask something that only the locals do know, then feel free to drop it as well. Since we have two here.
Yep. So I have one question from Daryl. Is the timetable similar for Sarawak and Melbourne?
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Will it be very packed, like hours?
Actually, no. The one good thing is that the classes start later. Actually, like I think classes start at 9 instead of 8. Comparatively, so it's a plus for me. So
yeah.
It's like 1 hour later than usual.
Yeah. Which means I could wake up even later. That's why I woke up at like 8+. But anyways, timetable similar for Sarawak and Melbourne. What do you mean? Do you guys need snow during winter?
I mean, it doesn't always snow there. Like during my winter, it didn't snow at least. So
yeah, mine didn't as well. So I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I don't think.
Yeah, if you go to like further out to the city, you can actually like see snow, and it is cool.
Oh, I see.
At certain times of the year.
I would recommend August. I think that's when most people go to the snow. Yeah, you have to go out to the country for that. I wish we got it in the city, but yeah, I haven't experienced snow in Melbourne in my life, so.
Oh, okay.
I see. Yeah, speaking of timetable, right? It was during that time that I actually experienced night lectures, like 7 p.m. to 9.
Oh yeah, that's same. Yeah, exactly. Like I normally we don't have night classes in Sarawak, but you might have some over there.
I mean, evening classes 4 to 6 they do have here in Sarawak, but not 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Rarely. I actually had a class in Sarawak as well that was 7 to 9 back then, but that was because the tutor was like working part-time or something, so that's the only time you could do it, something like that.
I see.
Daryl, I really did enjoy the food at Sarawak. It is a lot better than Melbourne. Melbourne is very good, but Sarawak was just a little bit better. Especially the laksa.
Nice.
Oh, yes, laksa.
You like laksa. That's great.
Yeah. Even though like Melbourne has laksa as well in like Sarawak shop, like Sarawak Kitchen, right? Is it called Sarawak Kitchen or Lagenta Kitchen? I forgot nearby campus, right? I think there was a Malaysian shop.
Oh yeah, there is a Malaysian store there, yeah.
But it tastes slightly different, right? It does still taste slightly different.
I would say it's not as good, but
it tastes slightly different.
Western food is a lot nicer in a Western country.
True, that's very true. Yeah.
The
Western food in Australia was so good, actually.
Very nice.
Joel, I'm curious. Have you tried kangaroo?
Oh yes, I have.
You have? Okay.
But we bought it. It was on sale in the supermarket, so we just bought it to try it out. And
wait, you cook kangaroo?
Yeah, we cooked it ourselves.
Yo.
It's very weird. It's a very gamey meat, but it's healthy. I mean, it's really high protein though, so I guess it's that.
It tastes like more a gamier meat than beef.
It's very gamey though, yeah.
Yeah. But they actually cooked it. Oh, impressive.
I don't know. I mean, quote unquote cook. Like it was kind of. I don't know. We really weren't like sure what we were doing.
I see.
I don't know what the requirements are for studying overseas from Sarawak, but like if you can, doing one less unit Like when you go to
Oh,
Australia,
actually, yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
that means you have more time to actually do things while you're in Australia. Like I found that really
Yes.
helpful when I was in Malaysia.
Wait, you only took one unit?
No, like one less unit. So
Oh,
instead of-
3 units. Okay. One less units. I mean, it
Depends
really
on-
depends on us. Yeah, just matter of arranging or not.
Yeah, I think generally that is a good idea though. Like, cause for me as well, when I was doing my semester, I actually overloaded my semesters beforehand. Like during winter, summer sems, I'll take extra subjects, so then my general semester will be like more chill. So yeah, I think it's a good idea as well.
Okay. Any advice to us who want to transfer or exchange in next semester? Like some tips to look out for?
I would say just like be adventurous and just try out stuff. Like don't go there and just like do nothing. Like really enjoy yourself. Really, if you want to try something, just do it. Like that's the time to like try all this kind of new stuff that you probably like. If you don't go to Melbourne, you might never go to Melbourne ever again. Even who knows? And that's the only chance you have. So just do stuff. Like when I went there, I was very adventurous as well. We just do anything. Like, oh, you want to go to this beach? Okay, let's go. Oh, it's like in the middle of the night. Who cares? Let's go. You know, like you just do anything you want. Just be adventurous. And if you're having any doubts, I like you're worried about like whether you or not you should go. I highly recommend you go. Like it was really fun for me, and I have no regrets. I almost did not go, and luckily I went because it was really fun. One of the best uni times probably the best uni time that I had so far. My best uni experience.
Okay, there's another question from Anson. So let's say if we are planning to have our internship end of this year, will it affect anything if you are exchanging?
Oh, actually, right. Yeah, for this, you should you need to plan your internship a bit for this because when I did my exchange, I had to delay my internship. So I did my internship later on, which still works. As long as you finish your internship before you graduate, it's still eligible. So you might need to intern during your final year. So that might be something to consider. For me, what I did was I interned in end of year 3 and final year, middle of the year. Like I finished it around this period, which is later than usual. But I would say it's fine. Like it doesn't really affect your FYP too much and everything as well. Like from my experience.
Yeah, I think you could exchange in year 3 second semester because the second semester at Melbourne they usually start at end earlier, at least 1 month, right? If I'm not mistaken. They start and end earlier by 1 month, then at least you still have 1 month of grace period before you actually start internship. But except that you have to find jobs over at Melbourne. Like you have to like do your interview with your employee. You have to tell them that you are currently in Australia and when you will be back, that kind of stuff.
Just to add into what Joel was saying before with making the most of the time you're there, I think something else that's really helpful is to actually like have a bit of an idea of what you want to do when you're over there. When I went to Malaysia, I was told, oh yeah, you should plan stuff, and I didn't plan anything. And then I got to like week 3 and I was like, I'm kind of running out of time, need to do something. So I went on a hike, and then I got called back to Australia, and it ended more abruptly than normal. But like, I only did like one cool thing while I was over there because I took my time because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So really making the effort before you go. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this.
So it's just like a overall trip that we want to go. Like the planner that we need when we are over there, right? Like we have like what we want to go, what we want to eat and stuff like that to make our.
You can make like a to-do list, like a simple to-do list.
Yeah. Just to make
it your bucket list, man.
More fruitful also.
Bucket list.
Yeah.
Even a food bucket list, because I'm hearing about kangaroo and stuff. Maybe more people need to experience that. I don't know.
The opportunity was there, so I just took it. Tried. Yeah, it wasn't on the plan, but yeah.
Do you like it?
It's not too bad.
Sorry guys, I think I have to make a move if that's
Yeah,
alright.
yeah. Because
Alright.
Joel is working right now. Yes. He said that he already graduated, so he's actually currently working. He took his precious time from his lunch time for us.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry guys. Thanks
No
for
worries.
inviting
Thank
me.
you, Joel.
I
Thank you,
enjoyed
Joel.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Really appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Bye. Yeah, so are there any more questions from the floor? Things that you are curious about?
Speaking of advice, right, from myself, I would say that don't be shy to meet new people. Because from my experience, most of the people I went with, they mostly stick with their own group, as in the Malaysian group. Yeah, so I think that since you were in Melbourne, maybe you should try to reach out to more people. At least for myself, I had the chance because during that time I was the only robotics student, so I have no choice but I have to do my assignments with locals, and stuff. So yeah, at least I have the opportunity, as well as being in hostel. I do attend their activities, playing one of their what was the game called? I forgot. It was like using a hammer to hit the ball. What do they call it? The sport. Was it the ball? Yeah, it was a ball. No, not using hammer. I mean like rolling a ball to hit something. I can't recall what exactly was it.
Yeah, is it bowling?
It's not hitting pins though. It was done on the grass field.
Oh,
Balls.
what was
Balls.
it?
Like
Yeah,
just
balls.
like you have a little white ball and then you have another bigger ball.
Yeah, you hit the
And
ball
on a
with
grass.
the ball. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so I had
Mm.
a chance to do that with them.
Mm-mm.
And also learn to drink. Yeah.
Yes.
Learn to drink.
And getting involved in clubs, that's a really
Yeah.
easy way to reach out to people that aren't just from your group.
Any clubs that you would like to suggest to us? The interesting, very fun clubs.
Look,
Join in.
getting involved in like a sport club. The only club I've been involved in is the Christian Union at Swinburne. But, so that's your thing, come along. But yeah, I don't know, like futsal club, I'd be interested in being interested. It's just soccer.
Yeah, there's good sporting clubs. I've heard my friend did the cheerleading one, so if anyone's interested in that, apparently that's really good. But yeah, besides that, sporting one is just always good, and it gets you outside. And as Jake said, meeting new people is it's such a bonus when you're down here.
Yep.
Yeah, I think when you exchange to Melbourne or transfer, there will be orientation week, right? So during orientation, there will be a showcase of clubs as well. So you can just take a look there, see what what is your cup of tea, then just join it, go from there. Yeah, quite a number of clubs. Sound very interesting as well.
They're like a beer
Yeah, they
drinking
are.
club.
That one, I don't know. It might be secretive. It wasn't shown during orientation for sure.
Okay. So, any more questions from the students? You can also ask questions about the exchange program. Yeah. We'll just wait for a few minutes. Oh yeah, for the living expenses, how much do you guys spend over there, like roughly for a month? If you just include the food and the accommodation.
1 second.
Just a rough estimate.
That's tough. It depends where you're living. If you're doing a share house and you find some friends, or if you find a place online in Melbourne City, it'll be roughly around I'll say 750 to 1,000 a month, if that sounds right. And then food wise, I know we have such good bargains at supermarkets, so you'll be able to find good discounts. And also being at uni, you have a lot of student discounts that we have, and even with public transport, so that can save you some money. So if you get a concession card, that's a really great idea. But yeah, I would say roughly, I don't know, 1,200, 1,500 a month. If that sounds right. Harry, do you think 1,500 maybe? A bit more?
Yeah, I reckon that sounds pretty good, pretty comfortable. If you had 1,500 per month, I think you'd be pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
If you're living in a share house. It might be a bit different if you're living in a hostel. And also with hostel, you have your meals provided, so there's some less cost there. So I just don't know about that.
Yeah. For you mean like living expenses, right? So mine is not really recommended. It's not the way of living. It really hurts your wallet really a lot. But let me think. How much do I spend per month? 4 weeks divided by 3. If you were at the earlier part of the semester, I think per month, you guys were saying 1,200, is it?
Yeah.
1,200-ish. I think it will be around that price as well if you do weekly grocery, because I'm sharing my grocery as well as cooking with 2 other friends, so we divide from there as well, because we don't cook like one meal for one person, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but if you were talking about like later in the semester where we eat out a lot, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
Eat out a lot, and to be honest, I was really enjoying my time there, so there might be even more expenses on food. Yeah.
True. Just curious though, how often are the sales at the supermarket?
So it's kind of just, it depends on the type of food, but yeah, there'll be just like all these, I don't know, discounts. It'll show you the original price, and then it could be like $2 taken off, but it all adds up. So yeah, it depends. Also the time of year as well. Like there could be, sale on chocolate, for example, after Easter, or that type of thing. But yeah, it might be like $2 taken off like some products or more, and yeah,
not always like big savings, but
Yeah,
just
not
like
big.
small savings over a long period of time you save.
Yep, and it all adds up. So every little bit counts.
Yeah, when you go to like Woolworth or Target, then you will see random discount all over the place. Just go and see like how many off, how many dollar off. Then yeah.
I recommend Kmart. Kmart's a great place if you want to find stuff for your house or your room. It's just so affordable, and you can find everything there. So Kmart's your best friend if you want to save some money.
Is there like a grocery delivery service over there? So like, it will be much more convenient if, let's say, we can't go out to buy food.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I don't know, getting involved in like flybys or everyday rewards or those kind of, so flybys and everyday rewards, they're just like, they partner with different shops, and basically you get this point, it's a point system, and there'll be lots of other extra deals on top of those points. But like you build up your points, and then you can cash in your points for either like vouchers for the stores or to buy other things. Like it does take time, but it's small.
The points, and the points are kind of like how much something costs, and then you get to a certain amount you've spent, and then you might get like $10 off your next thing once you get to those points, or you might get a little something with it.
Yeah. So I would say it's very convenient when we are studying on campus, and because of how close it is to all these like convenience stores and stations, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's legit. Like Woolworth is legit. Like you walk out. If you went from the main entrance, not main entrance, you go from hostel. I think it's just like a few minutes walk, maybe a 3 minute walk. It's really that close.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's no other questions, then maybe we can have like a group photo session with everyone, and maybe we can just end this event. Is that okay? Or do you guys have anything to add on? Mr. Stewart and Mr. Sana, do you have anything to say to the students?
I think Stuart. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just wanted to once again encourage you to come and study with us when you can next semester. And I think like the student panel said, look, go for it and make sure when you do come here that you really, try and make friends and experience as much as you can in Melbourne and outside of Melbourne. So just want to wish you all the best and really hope to see you maybe next semester in Melbourne. At Swinburne in Melbourne. So we have there's a mobility office, an office for Swinburne abroad. So make sure that you drop in and we can say hello. All the best, guys. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Stuart. So yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions on exchange, those who are coming from Sarawak, just feel free to drop by the marketing office. I'm based in marketing office. Hey, Harrison, long time didn't see you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I saw the name. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was here. Yeah. All right. Hi, Catherine. So in case if you ever come to Sarawak on exchange, you'll be seeing me. I'll be processing your application, stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Jake for helping organizing all this thing, Jake and Douglas. And I would like to thank you both, Harrison and Catherine, for sharing your experience, sharing your thoughts on this. As well as Stuart and Belinda. Thanks a lot. I think, Stuart, I will get in touch with you on the students coming from Melbourne to here very soon on that. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that's about it. So we can go ahead with the group photo.
Yes. So if it's convenient to all of you, maybe everyone can turn on their webcams and we'll have a very quick photo taking session.
Yeah, we'll count down for 60 seconds.
Sure.
Jake, what year were you in?
What you did? What was it you did?
Technical software development, was it?
Yeah, technical software. I took technical
we had
software.
a project. Yep.
As well as was it Machine Dynamics 1 or 2?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I do recognize you both in Sarawak and Melbourne. I think I saw you somewhere before. Yeah, look very familiar.
Don't be shy, guys. Just turn on your webcams.
In that case, Harrison, are you in your final year as well?
Yeah, well, I've actually done my honours project already. So
Oh.
I've got 4 units remaining and they're all electives.
Whoa, oh, so you took your honours you did earlier. Okay, right.
Is that electives remaining this semester, Harry? Or
Yeah, so I've got 1 semester remaining and it's just 4 electives.
As in this semester is your last one?
This semester is my last one, yeah.
I was going to say, you can try and get you overseas again if you wanted.
Yeah.
Love to have a chat.
That's good.
Yeah, Douglas, I think we can just take it like this.
Okay, sure. So on the count of 3, everyone please smile a little. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Go. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you to Mr. Tana and Mr. Stewart, as well as our students from Australia and also from Swinburne, Harrison, Catherine, and Jake and Joel, who just left. Yeah, thank you for the very interesting sharing. I'm sure we have we learned a lot of stuff about Melbourne and how it's like to live over there as a student. And Yep, so this will be the end of our event. And yep, you guys are free to leave. Oh yeah, there's a feedback form I forgot to share. Please just share it, yeah.
Thanks very much, Douglas. Thanks,
No
Jay.
worries. No
Thanks,
problem.
Tana. See
Yeah,
you.
thank you everyone
Thanks,
for
Thanks, Harry.
attending.
Thanks, Kit.
Yeah,
See you guys.
thank you for Harrison and Kit for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, also thank you to Miss Belinda for assisting as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
Right, no problem.
bye.
Bye bye.
Jet, you give them a feedback form.
Hey,
Oh.
did paste it now? Oh, I thought you will send it. Never mind lah.
Oh, I didn't have the file.
Wait, I thought I sent you the link already.
I lost our chat.
Wait, I sent you this morning. What do you mean?
Serious? Wait.
This is so sad. It's okay.
Okay lah, it's okay lah. Small issue. Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming. So, see you next time when I see you.
Yes,
Bye.
Goodbye.
Just end the meeting.
Okay.